If it's Monday night, oh yes, it is the Wrestling Forum. Hello, friends. Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio here with you, alongside the Cerebral Viper Michael Fletcher and the Phenom Michael Bullock. Gentlemen, all I can say is buckle up because we are in for a wild ride here tonight on the Wrestling Forum, and I'm just going to give you all a forewarning here tonight. And this is a good forewarning. It's very rare I do good forewarnings, but this is a good forewarning coming up. There will be no Michael Bullock I Can't Take It face tonight. I can already promise you that. I can also promise you I don't believe there will be any rants tonight, because this show was top notch from start to finish. Everything on this show here tonight was solid to good to wow. It had everything. Legends. Great in-ring segments. Solid wrestling matches. Surprises, for goodness sakes. You name it, this show had it. They built this show, of course, the go-home show for Hell in a Cell, which is this Sunday night on the WWE Network or pay-per-view, Staples Center, Los Angeles. This go-home show tonight in the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. I can honestly say tonight. And I know Michael Bullock will concur with me. We'll see if Fletcher agrees. Can honestly say it was one of the better Monday Night Raws we've seen in a very long time. For the last several weeks, Monday Night Raw was, well, in a rut. A very bad rut. Bad ratings. Lazy booking, nonsensical booking. Nothing on this show tonight made me say lazy or nonsensical booking here tonight. May have been a couple of lowlights here and there. Yeah, to the point where we were threatening to boycott Raw. Exactly, Michael Fletcher. You're absolutely right. A few weeks ago, we actually, the three of us, agreed and made a pact that if WWE didn't shape up and didn't get their act together, that we were going to boycott the show. I don't think we're going to be doing that anytime soon. Not after what we saw here tonight. And also here tonight, we're going to do something different here. We're going to do something unpredictable. Normally when we start the show, I usually lead off. No, we're going to do something different here tonight. Thanks to a brilliant, and I do mean brilliant, suggestion from the Phenom, Michael Bullock. We're going to do things differently here tonight. I'll explain in just a moment. So with that all said, monologue out of the way. I don't normally do monologues, but when I do, it's when something either really good or really bad happens, and we got really good here tonight. So, all right, gentlemen, enough of my banter. Let's go. This is it. Go home, Hell in a Cell, American Airlines Center, Dallas, Texas, the home of the NBA's Dallas Mavericks and NHL's Dallas Stars. Oh yeah, this was unbelievable tonight. Started off, in-ring segment, Hall of Famer, Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out to start the show. He cuts a promo. He says his words. And who's out next? The Undertaker. That's right, Stone Cold introduces The Undertaker. And that's not all. Taker cuts his promo, and then all of a sudden, there's Brock Lesnar, the man he faces inside Hell in a Cell for the second time this Sunday night. Of course, flaked by his advocate, Paul Heyman. They do their little shtick. And now here comes the unpredictable. Michael Bullock and I, we've had a great day together today. And he suggested to me when we were doing the show, when we were watching the show like we've been doing, for these last several weeks and whatnot. He said, Florio, I want to lead off on this opening segment because my man, The Undertaker, was in the ring. And I'm like, you know what? You want it? You got it. So that's what we're going to do. I'm not starting the show tonight. The Phenom is starting the show tonight. So with that said, Michael Bullock, consider your request granted. The floor is all yours, my man.
All right, thank you very much, Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio, and the president of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement. Yes, this is the Phenom and the vice president of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, Mike Bullock, here for another edition of the Wrestling Forum. Delighted to be here as always. Yeah, I mean, you can't start off a Monday Night Raw any better than with the Texas Rattlesnake himself, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, basically, I was marking off like a crazy man. And remember, last week, Fletcher was the one who broke the news that Stone Cold wasn't going to be on Monday Night Raw. But then, as the dirt sheets continue to go throughout the week, saying he would be there, and lo and behold, he was there. He basically cuts a short promo, basically saying that it's good to be back, and that asking the fans if they're ready for Raw to give me a hell yeah. And of course the crowd basically says hell yeah, and basically cuts the promo about tonight's Stone Cold podcast with his guest Brock Lesnar, which is of course ongoing right now on the WWE Network. And then basically after that he just says, you know what I'm going to do right now is introduce a man who I have a lot of respect for. I'd like to bring out The Undertaker. And I was like, at first I was like, what? I mean, we knew The Undertaker was here, but I was thinking at first Stone Cold and The Undertaker were going to be in the same ring. And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, special moment. But basically, it's just The Undertaker in the ring. He basically says there's one last battle to fight, and then he's going to take Brock Lesnar to the depths of hell come Sunday night at Hell in a Cell inside that demonic structure. Then here comes Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, and basically saying that that his client Brock Lesnar wants to avenge that disputed, disgusting, tainted, illegit victory that Taker scored at SummerSlam. And then he basically says, you know what, Taker? I mean, you don't just want revenge or need it. You lust after the notion of avenging the fact that Brock Lesnar conquered your streak, and that Brock will take his revenge, and then Taker will be done for good. And then Taker basically cuts a promo again, then says, you know what, Heyman? This is what your problem is. And then he removes the hat. He says, because when you take everything from a man, then that man ends up fighting with nothing to lose. And then he just tells Brock Lesnar to just bring it. And just when it looked like Brock was going to hit the ring and we're going to get ourselves a fight, of course, as you hear Paul Heyman screaming to get down because it's a bad idea, then Brock Lesnar hops off the apron and they basically head off, and of course Taker makes that throat slash. So definitely, I'm really buying the hype into this Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. And let's not forget, folks, this will be The Undertaker's 13th Hell in a Cell appearance, while for Brock Lesnar it'll be his second. And could this top the 5-star that they had at No Mercy 2002? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But man, oh man, this is one fight this is a fight I'm really looking forward to. And of course, we all know for sure this is going to main event Hell in a Cell. No doubt about it in my mind, since this is the final encounter between these two. So great segment to start off, and I'll say this was definitely the segment of the night. And I'll say at this point, I'm gonna have to say this was the second best segment of the year, right behind that brawl between Taker and Lesnar the night after Battleground. I mean, because when you have three guys, I mean, you have Stone Cold starting the show. He brings out the Undertaker. Taker cuts a promo, and then you have Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman out there, and Heyman cuts a promo. To me, the second best segment of the year, and of course the segment of the night. So that's pretty much all I can say on it. So Fletcher, your thoughts on this awesome segment to start off Raw?
Yes, indeed. I mean, what a way to start off Monday Night Raw. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Fletcher. I gotta say, it was an incredible way to start off Monday Night Raw. You know, I'll admit it. I heard a rumor going around that Austin was not going to be there. Basically everybody was saying that Austin was not going to be there. Even Austin himself kind of said that, you know, WWE had no plans for me to be at Monday Night Raw. I was only going to do the podcast and that was it. Apparently things have changed over the week, and next thing you know, there's Austin. So, you know, I'll admit it, I got this wrong. He was originally supposed to be on the show, but then they did initially pull him off. He wasn't supposed to be on the show, but, you know, once in a rare while, we do get it wrong. So I'll admit it, we got it wrong. My bad. But it was great to see him. The hype was definitely great for him. The Taker Lesnar exchange was unbelievable. I mean, there was nothing more to say. And really, the reason why that didn't happen was because Paul Heyman called the Lesnar off. It was basically, he was pleading for Lesnar to get off the apron and not get into the ring, because he knew if he gets in the ring, all hell is going to break loose. And Lesnar's not afraid. Let's be realistic about that. Lesnar is not afraid of The Undertaker. I mean, he broke the streak at WrestleMania. He should have beaten him again at SummerSlam if it wasn't for some, well, I'll say it, shenanigans by a very uppity, jumpy, stinking timekeeper. But other than that, there's really nothing more to say. At the end of the day, I mean, this is what we were expecting. This is what we wanted it to see. A knockdown, drag out, bag alley type of a war. And what we got was literally a thing of beauty. So, I mean, there's really nothing more to say. Definitely one of the top segments of the night, I should say, second best segment of the evening. And now we just gotta wait and see what happens. So for me, I'm happy with the way that this turned out. Anthony, I give it to you.
Yeah, I tell you, I mean, Mr. Bullock and I had a lot of fun during this segment. But then again, we had a lot of fun during the show tonight, I'll tell you. Oh, boy. I mean, Stone Cold doing his thing, that was great. Undertaker, kind of one of his vintage promos, amazing. Paul Heyman doing his usual shtick. This was the segment of the night for me. Segment of the night, and like Michael Bullock said, second best segment of the year. I mean, only behind the infamous Taker and Lesnar brawl 3 months ago. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, Bullock, you remember what I said to you during this segment, right? I said to you, and I know you'll back me up like you always do. I said to you, and Fletcher, you're hearing this for the first time. I said to Bullock that this was the best opening to a WWE show since WrestleMania 30. Did I say that, Bullock? Didn't I say that to you tonight?
Yes, you did.
That's right. I said that to Michael Bullock here tonight. I said, hey, man, this is the best opening to a WWE show since WrestleMania 30, when you had Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock all in the same ring at the same time. I mean, this was just absolutely fantastic, and yeah, well done to all. Everybody involved was fantastic. Stone Cold was great. Taker was great. I love that line, like Bullock said. That line about the man who when you take everything from a man, he has nothing to lose. Oh, that's vintage Taker right there. I got the goosies when I heard that. That was just fantastic. So
That's basically him saying like he's got nothing to lose now that the streak has been taken.
yeah, streak taken and a whole lot and so much more. But yeah, this came off really well done, just fantastic. So great job Stone Cold, great job Taker, great job Heyman, and Lesnar, backing off. Yeah, that's classic right there. And you remember during the summer there were crowds that seemed more in favor of Lesnar than Taker. Well, this was definitely a pro Taker crowd tonight because it was Texas. Because
Well, it is his hometown, but even though when he comes to the ring, they say he's from Death Valley.
yeah, he's really from Houston, Texas, and but Dallas, Dallas right up the road. So yeah, definitely a pro Taker crowd, and they were definitely on Lesnar tonight. So but all I know is this, folks. I mean, Hell in a Cell Sunday night can't get here fast enough. I mean, this is a match we're all looking forward to. I mean, we all remember No Mercy in 2002 when those two threw down in Hell in a Cell. One of the bloodiest, if not the bloodiest, Hell in a Cell match of all time. I mean, the bloodshed, the violence in that match, just everything about it. That's why I consider that match a 5-star classic, chock full of Shakespearean drama, and that match definitely had it. So, well done. And who knows? Maybe, just maybe, will the PG version be better than the Ruthless Aggression era version? Only time will tell, but that's how you start a show right there, folks. That's how you start a show. Best opening to a show I've seen since WrestleMania 30. Just absolutely amazing. So, I got nothing left to say. Let's just move on to our first match of the night. And Michael Fletcher is going to start us off with the thoughts of it. 6-man tag team action. You had the United States Heavyweight Champion John Cena teaming up with those damn Dudleys, going up against the WWE Tag Team Champions, The New Day, all 3 members. Winners of the match in 8 minutes and 35 seconds. It was The New Day via a roll-up and pulling of the tights by Xavier Woods on Devon Dudley. So nothing left to say except before I throw it to Fletcher, I'm going to do the infamous line that Fletcher loves so much. Xavier Woods pulling the tights and getting the win. Fletcher, it's yours.
The worst thing that you can see in wrestling. Yes, he pulled the tights. Yes, he got the win. But, boy, Xavier paid a price for the indiscretion. Can I say Woods got Wood? He ended up going through a table, oh my God style, and the next thing is somebody pass Bubba a smoke or give him a drink because the son of a bitch is in that euphoric trance again. But I will say this was awesome. I don't like the ending. I think the ending was kind of messed up, but the fight itself was actually really good. I mean, I really enjoyed the match. I could give this at least 2 to 2.5 stars for the rating. I mean, equal amount of time, about 8 minutes, fair enough amount of time. I thought the quality of the fight was actually really good. At the end of the day, it was definitely good, not great. 2.5 stars is definitely the rating for it, but the extracurricular activities after the fight really makes it more telling because now Kofi Kingston and Biggie Langston are literally on their own, because if they do sell this injury angle, Xavier Woods is going to be nowhere to be seen on Sunday night for the tag team title fight, which means we might have finally a legitimate tag team matchup for the belts on the line. And if that's the case, gentlemen, I'm going to go out on a big limb here. I think we might have possibly brand new tag team champions going down on Sunday night. That's just my personal opinion about it. Plus, on top of that, we're also going to get the John Cena United States Heavyweight Championship Invitational coming to Hell in a Cell. Who's going to take that fight? I kind of got a feeling who it might be, but we'll get into that hopefully later on in the night, because that said person was actually in action tonight. So I'll preface that a little bit later on. But I agree, 2 to 2.5 stars is my rating for the fight. I thought this was definitely one of the top fights of the night, maybe number 3 overall, in my opinion. So with that said, Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, 2 to 2.5 stars for the fight is the correct rating. Indeed, Flex. That's the rating that Bullock and I were going back and forth with when we were watching the match. I mean, a little too short for my liking, honestly. I mean, I kind of wanted to see more, considering the names involved here. The dreaded Roll Up of Doom strikes again. Yeah, that's one of the only few gripes I have about this show tonight. But yeah, where I got that line from, that was what Jesse Ventura said after Hulk Hogan defeated the Macho Man Randy Savage for the World Wrestling Federation title at WrestleMania 5, as they were showing the instant replay. That's where I got the pulling the tights and getting the win. That's exactly what Xavier Woods did. Literally, pulled the tights and got the win. And that's exactly what it was. So, but yeah, there was some okay action throughout. I kind of wanted to see more, like I said, because of the star power involved. But yeah, 2 to 2.5 stars. The post match, I mean, Xavier went through the table, and if they have him sell the injuries, if there's no Xavier, no trombone. Yes, get rid of the trombone. The trombone has been a nuisance, a distraction. It takes away from the match, and that's it. That's all I can say on it. So and that's why I gotta call that out. But yeah, a legitimate, even 2-on-2 tag team match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Fletcher. I mean, I've had. Oh yeah, there was no John Bone, yeah, but he still had it out with him. But still, getting back to what I was trying to say, but getting my train of thought. I mean, you said that you got those damn Dudleys winning the titles. I agree with you. I actually had the Dudleys winning the belts even when the match was first announced. I mean, they're going to put the belts on those damn Dudleys sooner than later, soon enough. And I think that's going to happen this Sunday night. I really do. So, Xavier or no Xavier, I think we're going to have new champions come Sunday night. And if that's the case, well, we'll all be breaking out the "Oh my brother, testify." But nobody does that better than one and only Mr. Michael Bullock. So with that said,
oh my brother, oh testify.
Need I say more? 2 to 2.5 stars. One of the top fights of the night. It's not the fight of the night by any means, but it's one of the. Yeah, you could say it's like third, fourth best fight of the night, somewhere in that neighborhood. So, Michael Bullock, my brother, testify.
All right. Yeah, I do agree. 2.5 stars is my rating for the fight. I mean, I thought the match was good for what it was, and yeah, it's somewhere between third and fourth best fight of the night. I do agree with that. I just did not like. I just did not like the ending with the pulling of the tights. Yeah, that took a little bit away, but yeah, at least. But then, of course, yep, the New Day basically paid for what they did. They basically got attacked. It was Xavier Woods who got the worst of it. First, he gets an attitude adjustment from John Cena, and then he gets put through a table, and John Cena gives a little assist to it. So yeah, yeah, and I'll be quite honest. When when it comes to this tag team title match at Hell in a Cell, I do agree. I think we're going to have new tag team champions in those damn Dudleys. And when that happens, you know what we're going to do in our recap show. And I know Florio and I will do that oh my brother, oh testify when that happens. And yes, we also found out tonight that there will be a John Cena U.S. Open, United States Championship Open Challenge. So who's going to be? We'll have to wait and find out come Sunday night. So 2 to 2.5 stars. Really got nothing else to say except Florio. Let's move on to our next match.
All right. Next up, here on our Wrestling Forum review of Monday Night Raw. First of 2 Divas matches here tonight. It was tag team action. We had representing Team Bella, Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox going up against Team Bads, Sasha Banks and Naomi. Winners of the match. Unfortunately, I do not have a time of the fall here, but I do. Well, what we do know is Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox won the match via the torture rack by Nikki Bella on, I believe it was Naomi. So, yeah. I'm actually gonna give this about 2.25 stars for the effort. I mean, solid diva fight here. I mean, there was some good action for the most part, and I'm kind of not surprised Nikki Bella went over. That Nikki Bella scored the winning fall for her team. I mean, they obviously want to give Nikki Bella some momentum going into her Diva Championship rematch with Charlotte on Sunday night at Hell in a Cell. Which I'm hoping goes the latter's way, but we'll see the latter and we'll see the latter later on because, like I said, there were 2 Diva matches and it involved both combatants in the Divas Championship match come Sunday night. Nikki Bella gets the win here via the torture rack. There was some solid action throughout, and so yeah, it's about 2 to 2.25 stars for my liking, to be quite honest with you, and. Yeah, so, yeah, and of course the fans, continuing to show the love for Sasha Banks. And I know Michael Fletcher will be, of course, I know Michael Fletcher and his 2184 crew mentor, Bill McConnell. I know they're leading the charge from right here and from these parts. So, because it's well documented, the love affair that Fletch and Mr. McConnell have for Sasha Banks, and rightfully so. I mean, girl continues to get better and better, and she's definitely a diva of the future. I mean, if you don't believe me, well, just go watch that Iron Woman match she had with Bayley a couple weeks ago at TakeOver Respect, and tell me otherwise, because that was a 5-star classic, Shakespearean drama at its finest. And between that fight and the one they had in Brooklyn, I don't know which one was better. I mean, both of them were just so damn good. But thankfully, we got a couple more months to figure that out because it's rapidly approaching our year in review show. So, yeah, we're gonna have to do a lot of soul searching over these next couple of months or so. Oh man, but it's 2 to 2.25 stars for this, and like I said, Nikki Bella going over, I cannot say I'm surprised because you obviously wanna make her look strong going into that rematch with Charlotte come Sunday night. And God forbid if they put that belt back on her, let's just say Ridiculously Over is coming out Sunday night, and you don't want that. You do not want that. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this first of 2 Diva fights?
Yeah, I do agree. It was 2 to 2.25 for the effort there. Yeah, the action was good for what it was during that time, and yeah, obviously they wanted to put Nikki Bella over just to make her look good going into the Divas title match this Sunday at Hell in a Cell against Charlotte. But yeah, I mean, I thought Divas did really well. I mean, especially Sasha Banks. I mean, I really liked her. I mean, especially after the last 2 matches she's had with Bayley. First at the NXT Takeover in Brooklyn, which was the fight of the night, and of course a 5-star classic. And then of course their 30-minute Iron Woman match they had at the NXT Takeover Respect. So yeah, so I've continued to grow and love what Sasha Banks has done, and so yeah. Basically, there's really nothing else to say except 2 to 2.25 stars. So there's really nothing else for me to say except Fletcher, your thoughts on this, especially with your girl Sasha Banks, the boss.
I'm sorry, guys.
Fletcher.
I muted my headset. I forgot. I got this button now that if I don't press the button, I don't actually play live. So no, I agree. I mean, this was a 2.25 star fight, no doubt about it. I definitely love the body of work from Sasha Banks as always. But the problem is, here's the thing, guys, and I really want you guys to think about this really quickly. We always talked about a Diva Revolution and how great the Divas have been and the whole 9 yards. But doesn't it seem like we're going backwards? I mean, Sasha Banks gets an opportunity and she fights tonight, but Team Bella wins. Now, I get it. They want to make Nikki Bella look strong. She's got a title shot coming up at Hell in a Cell against Charlotte. But, I mean, come on. I mean, we see the body of work of Sasha Banks. We see what she brings to the table. It looks like they're literally trying to drive that wedge that we were talking about to split up Team Bad and have Team Bella as like the dominant female group. I think it's going to come to a point where they're going to have to break everybody up and let everybody go everybody among themselves. But at this point in the game, I mean, you got Team Bad, you only got 2 members, you got basically the CB crew, and that's what I'm going to call it, the CB crew, and then you got Team Bella, which is A-Fox and the Bella Twins. And yet, Nikki gets the dupe again on Naomi. I think she pins Naomi tonight again. So that's twice in a row where they're keeping Sasha strong. They're holding Naomi down. And once again, the Bellas are ruling the WWE Diva division again. The only difference is that the only factor that she's not, the only thing is that Charlotte's the champion. But other than that, what the heck is going on? We were looking for a Diva Revolution, not a all Bella all the time type garbage again. I mean, we're going backwards, guys. That's my personal opinion, and that's my only gripe that I have about that fight. I thought the fight was good. It was solid, but we're going backwards. And I'm not liking it. I don't like the direction they're going with the Diva division. We asked for a change. We asked for a revolution. We got it when Charlotte won the belt. I'm starting to get this stinky feeling that we're about to go back to status quo. And if that's the case, gentlemen, get ready. We might have a Bella as the new Diva champion again. Florio, it's yours.
No.
No.
And get
No.
the F out
No.
with that shit.
Amen to that, Bull. You're absolutely right. I mean, do we really want to see that again? Do we really want to go through that nonsense again? No.
Yeah, hell will freeze over big time if that happens.
Yeah. So, all right. Nothing left to say here. Let's just move on to our next, it's back to in-ring segments, and Michael Bullock's going to be starting off on this one, and what a segment he's going to start it off with. WWE Hall of Famer, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, my man. Yeah. HBK. Yeah. He came out. He talks about Hell in a Cell. All of a sudden, he gets interrupted by Seth Rollins, and then those two go into a back and forth. And then Shawn Michaels announces to Seth Rollins that he's going to be in a match against Ryback. So this is a 2-for-1, really, if you really think about it. So that led into the match. WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, one-on-one with Ryback. And the winner of the match, in 4 minutes and 5 seconds, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins via the pedigrees. So Michael Bullock, it's a 2-for-1 here on the Wrestling Forum. Your thoughts on the in-ring segment with Shawn Michaels and Seth Rollins, and also your thoughts on the match between Seth Rollins and Ryback. So Michael Bullock, 2-for-1. Let's have it.
Oh yeah, I mean, what can you say? I mean, you get the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels returning to Monday Night Raw, and there was a nice little funny moment as he was coming to the ring. He basically took a bite out of a pizza with that a fan has. Got a nice little kick out of that. And of course, basically he talks about the two Hell in a Cell matches with Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns, and of course the one everyone's talking about, The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. Of course, talking about his experiences inside that Hell in a Cell, and then basically out comes Seth Rollins, being the typical Seth Rollins, cocky, snarky heel that he is, and then basically he's after his little back and forth with Shawn Michaels, he tries to pull a little Shawn Michaels with the "Hit My Music." Well, that didn't work out well for him. Then Shawn Michaels said, "Oh, by the way, you have a match tonight, and who's it against? Ryback." And then basically says, "Hit my music," and his music gets hit, and then we have the match. And as far as the match goes, I'm going to go maybe 1 to 1.5 stars for the effort. I'll have to say this was the second worst fight of the night in my eyes. So, but I mean, I thought it was. I mean, it was good, not great. But basically, I guess they just want to make Seth Rollins look good going into his WWE World Heavyweight Championship match against the Demon Kane this Sunday night. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So for the Shawn Michaels and Seth Rollins segment, this was the second best segment of the night, and the match to me was 1 to 1.5 stars. So Fletcher, I'll give it to you.
Okay. No, I agree with what you were saying, Michael Bullock. I mean, it was solid. I mean, the segment with Shawn Michaels was pretty awesome, no doubt about it. I definitely enjoyed it, as I think as much as the next person did. But as far as it going with everything else that was happening, I mean, yeah, it was solid. Nothing amazing. Nothing that would really make me want to say wow or anything like that. So I get it. I mean. I definitely love the interaction between HBK and Seth Rollins, because remember, Seth Rollins was one of the original renegades of WWE, and then you got Shawn Michaels, who is I mean, you want to talk about a renegade in design and a renegade on his own. This guy was, I mean, heaven forbid, the way he played WWE. I mean, Shawn Michaels, before there was a Seth Rollins, before there was any type of troublemakers or whatever, there was the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. I mean, when he was the shenanigans he used to pull as a singles wrestler, let alone the shenanigans he pulled when he was a member of practically the greatest stable in professional wrestling, and Anthony Florio knows this better than anybody else because me and him were the original. We kind of portrayed ourselves as the originators of D-Generation X. When we first started, I was the Triple H, he was the Shawn Michaels, and then actually I think it's still does affect, because I think he still is the Shawn Michaels to my Triple H, because now, Shawn Michaels is a holy man now. He's that man of good fate. As we know, Florio is now a man of good fate. And me, I always used to be the troublemaker of the group. I used to be a little bit of the renegade. I used to be a little bit of the, I kind of had some rebellious nature in my blood, and I think Florio will agree with that. And now Seth Rollins wants to be the next, well, I guess we could call him the next Shawn Michaels, the next wild child of the WWE. I'm so young, I'm so great, I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. And Shawn's like, you're good, but you're not that good. What are you talking about? But I will say this, I thought it was a solid segment. And then as far as the fight goes, I kind of agree. Second worst fight of the night, just by default, because of the fact that I think we can agree there was one fight that was a little worse than that. But it is what it is. I thought it was all right for what it was worth. I could give it about 1.5 stars just for the mere effort. But you needed the fact to make Rollins strong, because he does have a big fight against Kane for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. At Hell in a Cell. So at the end of the day, it served its purpose. It served its duty of what it was doing. I don't think we can say, oh, this was the greatest thing or the worst thing. I just think it was there. It was solid. It was awesome to see HBK, but I thought the segment itself could have been a little better, but the interaction was great. The fight could have been better too, because remember, you got the WWE World Heavyweight Champion dealing with a former Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Unfortunately, it kind of didn't really deliver the way we were hoping for, but, it delivered a decent amount, let's say that. So, Florio, I give it to you.
Wow. Everything Michael Fletcher just said, spot on. I mean, since we became, best of friends, back in 1994, September, well, early in 94, 20, I mean, I've known him 21 years. I mean, you already know the story about me and Bullock. I've known Bullock for 25 years. Well, I've known Fletch for 21. And everything he said about that is spot on. But it wasn't just, him and I. No, there was more. There was also Derek Ferrera. There was also Tommy Sousa. There was also another old friend of ours who we haven't seen or heard from in almost 20 years, in Sean Santos. I mean, that was another. He was another member of our brotherhood. I mean, so many. And he's right. I mean, especially during our high school days, that when, and shortly after graduating high school, talking about Generation X, when we thought Triple H and Shawn Michaels were going to be reuniting in the summer of 2002, which of course led to, the rivalry that those two had, and of course it led into the non-sanctioned street fight at SummerSlam, which is in the top 3 of all-time greatest SummerSlam matches. I mean, 5-star classic, Shakespearean drama, emotion. Fletch and I, Fletch and I could go all night telling you all wonderful stories about our experiences during that. And of course, when DX came back, the PG era DX, Fletch is absolutely right. Fletch was the Triple H. He always was the Triple H. I mean, he always was the Triple H, and I always considered myself the Shawn Michaels. Fletcher is a cerebral assassin. Why do you think we call him the Cerebral Viper, for goodness sakes? Not just because of Triple H, but also because of Randy Orton. But more so Triple H, because he always struck me as a Triple H guy. The ruthless aggression of Triple H, the cerebral assassin, the evolution Triple H. That's where I always had it. And then D-Generation X, the funniness, the hilarity, the comedy. That's exactly what it was. And Shawn Michaels, how Shawn Michaels is nowadays. I mean, and kind of think of it, I am like a modern day Shawn Michaels when you think about it, because Shawn Michaels, born again Christian, I'm not. You could say I'm sort of a born again Christian myself. I mean, since I started, doing the church thing, right around the end of January or so, which I can honestly say has been a life changing experience and one that I regret not doing sooner, if I'm being honest. And that's what Shawn Michaels is nowadays. He's a holy man. He's a man of good faith, and which is exactly what I am. And I'm always going to be that. I'm going to take that with me all the way. So that's that. Second best segment of the night. I mean, Shawn Michaels, it's like he never left. It was so great to see Shawn Michaels in a WWE ring, and then Seth Rollins comes out. Oh, man. That exchange was fun. That was a fun-ass exchange, let me tell you. I mean, classic case of old school versus new school, and that's exactly what it was. I mean, just absolutely amazing, and I had a lot of fun with this segment. I know Bullock did too when we watched the segment together. I mean, it was amazing, just simply amazing, and boy howdy, a guy can dream, a guy can dream. How awesome would it be if one day we could see Seth Rollins go one-on-one with Shawn Michaels in a wrestling match? Does that not scream 5 stars right there? I don't know what does. I could swear I heard the fans chanting one more match. Did you guys hear that? Did you hear those fans chanting one more match when they saw Shawn Rollins stare down? Yeah. Awesome. 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 If it wasn't for that opening segment, I would have considered this the segment of the night, but it gets relegated to the 2 spot. But man, oh man, that was a wonderful segment. Both men came out really good. That's all there is to say about the segment. The match, well, it definitely left something to be desired there. It was a short match, too short for my liking. 1 to 1.5, I do agree. It's also one of the worst fights of the night as well. There's absolutely no question about it. So, but Shawn Michaels and Seth Rollins, that was freaking awesome. That's all I can say on that. Man, I had fun with that. So, I thought the segment was better than the match. That's all there is to say about that. So, but wait, this will not be the last time we see Seth Rollins. Oh no, oh no. And we're going to have some fun with this. You better believe it. So with that said, my friends, let's just move on. 6-man tag team action. And Michael Fletcher, lucky you, man. You get to lead off on this. We had a 6-man tag team match. Dolph Ziggler, along with the Swiss Superman, Cesaro, and the man that gravity forgot, Adrian Neville, going up against King Barrett, the Bulgarian Brood Rusev, Mr. Money in the Bank Sheamus. The winners of the match in 12 minutes and 55 seconds, the team of Rusev, King Barrett, and Sheamus via a bro kick by Sheamus and the pinfall by Bad News Barrett, King Bad News Barrett. So Rusev, Barrett, and Sheamus, they go over 12 minutes, 55 seconds worth of match time. Michael Fletcher, I'll tell you right now, Bullock and I had a lot of fun with this match. The big question is, were you feeling the fun just as much as we were?
Ladies and gentlemen, fight of the night.
Amen.
Can I get an amen on that one, gentlemen? Because
Amen.
This was a tremendous 6-man fight, and whoever thought that a mid-card match would steal the entire show, because to me they did. And I'm going to pull the trigger. And I don't know if I might have overscored this, but I'm going to go anyway. 4 to 4.5 stars. I am going way up there because I was blown away tonight. This was without a doubt one of the best fights. And for all you great fans out there in Dallas, you son of a gun, man. You got yourself, I mean, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State. You know, they say the stars are bright. You know, they were shining really bright tonight. This was definitely a fight to remember, a great showdown, a great match. Even the finish was beautifully done. I mean, I loved uh, the bro kick that let, from the outside that propelled Ziggler back into the ring, and you get the 1-2-3 finish. I am not gonna gripe about it. I mean, even that even put it over the top, because normally when you see something like that, you're like, oh man, that takes away. That actually made it good for me. It was exciting. The body of work of everybody involved in that fight was so awesome. You cannot deny this. And for me, this was a gold mine, and I gotta say hats off to all 6 men in this fight, because I was thoroughly entertained beyond belief. Going into it, maybe you were thinking, maybe second best fight of the night. This should be a solid, maybe 2.5, 3-star fight when you go into it. But after you come out of it, I don't know if Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock was probably thinking this, but they must have been like, oh my God, this was amazing. To me, I got to sit down, I got to see it for myself, and I'm like, holy cow, man. This is not only fight of the night, but this could be, at least for my eyes, maybe at least a top 10 candidate for at least a fight of the year. But I mean, like, low end of the fight of the year for WWE. I mean, it was like that type of fight. I could put this at least maybe in my top 10, at least at the number 10 spot it deserves. So, I mean, I'll go as far to say that. So with that said, 4 to 4.5 stars is my rating. Fight of the night, and at least in my opinion, this could end up as one of my top fights of the year, enough to at least crack my top 10 countdown at the end of the year. So with that said, Anthony, I give it to you.
Oh man, wow. Boy, someone loved this. Someone loved this match. My goodness, wow. All right. I'll be honest with you. I think 4.5's reaching. That's all I'm saying. With all due respect. I suppose. I think really the correct rating for this fight, now that Fletcher makes a compelling argument about it, initially, keep in mind this was initially. At first I was leaning towards 3 to 3.25 stars, but after what Fletcher just said, well, I think I'm going to have to seriously adjust that. I'm not going to give it 4.5 because I think that's overscoring it just a smidge. I think the correct rating for this fight, for my taste, is between 3.5 to 4. I can definitely agree with you on the solid 4, because this was a very good match. I definitely agree with you, Fletcher. I mean, this was a fantastic 6-man tag team match. I mean, once we got to the hot tag, that's when all the mayhem broke loose. I mean, we had a club sandwich moment, for goodness sakes. I mean, I dropped that on Bullock for the first time, and he got a kick out of it. You remember, Fletch? You know the club sandwich routine I usually do when we do commentary, right? I mean, you know what I would usually say. There was a moment when Adrian Neville, did that dive over the top rope and, landed on everybody outside the ring.
Which would have probably compelled me to say, look at this, and then you probably do your and then do your club sandwich, hold the mail. They all went down on that one.
That's right, Fletcher. Yeah, I knew you'd remember. I mean, I dropped that on Bullock for the first time, and Mr. Bullock got a kick out of that. So yeah, I mean, it had everything. I mean, there was even a little bit of some Shakespearean drama in this fight. I mean, because, who knew how this was going to go? I mean, the near falls after the hot tag. I mean, oh man, I mean, everybody, all 6 men worked their asses off. And yeah, no meaningless distractions, none of that nonsense. But Oh boy. I mean, this was a fantastic six-man tag, and whew, man. Now, Fletcher said he thinks there's a certain somebody that he can see taking the John Cena United States Championship Open Challenge. Was he by any chance involved in this match, Michael Fletcher? Was this the guy you were thinking of?
Absolutely, yes, there is. I think one of these 6 men you saw in that fight tonight will be the one that will challenge John Cena for the United States heavyweight title. Yes.
Okay. So, I'm guessing you're not going to share who that is. Am I right?
I kind of have to hold thought because now, because of different storylines that's been running through my head, I mean, I got 3 possible candidates, but I thought I had a clear-cut number 1, but now thinking about it, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, there might be more. So, but it is one of those 6 men. My initial thought was Ziggler,
Me too.
but now I'm starting to waver a little bit because with Barrett getting the win tonight, with Rusev already looking like he wants a shot at the belt. So, I mean, the door is open for any one of these 6 to go at it.
Absolutely. So, we'll definitely have to wait and see how it all plays out. Or then again, it could be somebody different altogether. I mean, we may even get a call from NXT, for goodness sakes, because I read a dirt sheet saying that Tyler Breeze is on his way to the main roster. So read into that what you will. So, as I always say, or as Derek would say, take it with a grain of salt. So that's all there is to say on that. So with all due respect, Fletch, I think 4.5 is reaching, but I mean, I think solid 4. I mean, I don't see why not. So my initial thought was 3 to 3.25, but after that, more than compelling argument from Michael Fletcher. I mean, I'm going to adjust it, and I'm going to call it. I do agree with you. It is the fight of the night, but I think 3.5 to 4 is more of the correct rating for this bout. 4.5. That's another 8 or 10 more minutes or so. Then we probably would have been talking 4.5, but not quite. 3.5 to 4. That's the best that I can do. I do agree. It is the fight of the night. It was fantastic. Simply fantastic. Like I said, all 6 men worked their you-know-whats off during that fight, especially after that hot tag. So that's all there is to say on that. All right, Michael Bullock. I know you're going to say it's the fight of the night. I know you're going to agree. But the big question is, whose rating do you agree with? Do you agree with Fletcher's rating, or do you agree with my rating? Honestly.
I'm actually gonna. Well, of course, like you said, this is the fight of the night, but I'm gonna say 3.5 to 4 stars. I'm even leaning more. Excuse me. I'm even leaning more towards 4 stars as my rating for the fight. I mean, this was a damn good 6-man tag team match, and I really like everything about it. And so yeah, I mean, you pretty much touched on everything. So there's really nothing else for me to say except let's move on, Florio.
I don't know how we're going to move on after that, but you know what? We're just, oh boy. And now, oh my goodness. It's going to go downhill from here, folks, and in a good way. Because who was next? Well, it's only fitting I get to lead off on this one because, we are the Fortune 4. Yep. You know we're the Fortune 4. In TNA, it was Ric Flair who put that whole thing together. I mean, he's the one who came up with the Fortune concept in the first place. He put the group together, the super group together, the greatest TNA stable of all time, in my honest opinion. Because you had the phenomenal AJ Styles, you had Bobby Roode, you had the Cowboy James Storm, you had Frankie Kazarian. You also, for a brief time, had the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels. That was the best version of the group right there. I mean, other members, you had Desmond Wolfe in there for a brief moment. You also had Big Matt Morgan in there, and of course the Nature Boy Ric Flair as the manager, mentor, J.J. Dillon type role, if you will. In our version, you know, when we consider ourselves the Four Horsemen, Fortune 4 of whatnot, there's only one man that I model myself after. Fellas, you know who that is. Who's my man? You know who it is. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Woo! And there he was, boys.
Woo!
Come on, Fletcher. You know you want to do it. Yeah. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair. In the house. He starts off hour number 3. He tells his stories about Dallas, Texas, and the Nature Boy. He mentioned the history with the Von Erichs, the Flairs, the Freebirds, hyping WrestleMania 32 in Jerry World on April 3rd of next year. And he introduced who he called his main man, Roman Reigns. And then he gets interrupted by the Wyatt family. You see Bray Wyatt. You see Braun Strowman. You think you're going to see Luke Harper. No. You don't see Luke Harper. Yes, you see Bray Wyatt. Yes, you see Braun Strowman. But guess who made his... Here comes another surprise, gentlemen. Eric Rowan is back. That's right. My man with the sheep mask. The man who made sheep masks look cool, for goodness sakes. Eric bleeping Rowan is back. Yes. My man with the sheep mask. And that sheep mask has never looked better on my man. I'll tell you that right now. So great to see him back. You know, he's been out since June with an arm injury. Great to see him back. And then Roman Reigns sets up a couple of chairs. He calls in Bray Wyatt. They have a sit down. And then the chicanery breaks out. We have a brawl. And then Dean Ambrose comes out. It's only even though it was a good segment and a very good segment, it was only the third best segment of the night for me because it was like a short and sweet thing. You know, when Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns, of course, they'll be meeting inside Hell in a Cell on Sunday night, and then it was announced that Ric Flair announced that it was initially supposed to be Dean Ambrose in a 2-on-1 handicap match against Braun Strowman and Luke Harper, but then it was changed to a tag match with Dean Ambrose being joined by Roman Reigns, and then of course Roman was there, so it was 3 against 2. You think it was a 3-on-2 handicap match. Now, very rarely do I mention backstage segments during our show, because then you have a backstage moment with Seth Rollins in there with the Authority, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon, and then all of a sudden in comes Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels, stirring the pot, Rollins said he would team with Reigns and Ambrose, and then Reigns like, you don't have to protect me, you don't have to worry about all that good stuff. He's like, I was already out there tonight, I beat Ryback, and I'm gonna stop the show here tonight. He says, hey, I know Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose hate my guts, I get it, but if Reigns and Ambrose, if they need a partner, they got one. Shield reunion. Mark out moment again, another mark out moment in Dallas tonight. Whoa.
In the more words of a Triumph, the insult comic dog. Oh yes! Yes! Yes!
Oh, there go the ratings. Oh, baby. And you know what else I did, Michael Fletcher? I did something that you're very familiar with, but also, again, I did for the first time with Michael Bullock. I think you know this little number I usually do when I'm with you. You know that, right? You remember that, don't you?
The fist goes in the mouth. He can't believe it.
That's exactly what I did, because I was marking the F out. It's as simple as that. That's exactly what I did. Shield reunion. Did you honestly think when you woke up today, fellas, that we would have a Shield reunion?
I think we were kind of hoping for a Shield reunion, but I don't think none of us ever thought it was going to happen tonight in Dallas and the way they did it. I think that made it even more awesome that it happened on this night of all nights.
But man, oh man, I mean, wow. That's all I can say. Even though this was the third best segment of the night, because you had Ric Flair and you had, Roman Reigns and then the Wyatts come out and Ambrose and all that. What a moment that was in the backstage. That's all I can say on that. So, this was the third best segment of the night for my tastes. So, but what I do know is Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt inside Hell in a Cell. As the late great Gorilla Monsoon would always say, it's going to be something else. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this segment? Great segment, even though it's the third best segment of the night. The other two were just better. So, Bullock, your thoughts on this segment?
Yeah, I thought this was another good segment, and I do agree this was the third best segment of the night. Of course, starting out with the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, the styling, profiling, wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing, son of a gun. Basically, he comes out and talks about Roman Reigns, and here comes Roman Reigns out there saying that he's going to be tagging with Dean Ambrose. Then out comes the Wyatt family, and I'm watching. I'm like, is that Eric Rowan? And I'm like, wow. And the sheep mask is back with the Wyatt families. I mean, my goodness. I mean, now you got Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, Braun Strowman, and Eric Rowan. Wow, this Wyatt family has just gotten bigger and bigger. And basically, they have a nice little back and forth in the ring with the mic, and then basically Roman Reigns basically starts nailing members of the Wyatt family with a steel chair. Out comes Dean Ambrose, and yeah, so overall I thought this was the third best segment of the night. It's just those other two segments were just better. So, Fletcher, I give it to you.
No, you absolutely are right, gentlemen. I mean, this was as good as you could have gotten segment-wise. I thought it was very strong, amazing. I love the body of work. I loved what this was brought to the table, and it was very exciting. As much as we may say, oh, it was this, it was that, yeah, I get it. I mean, not everything was perfect and whatnot, but I love the fact that they got right into it and they kind of got the emotions in check and everything else. And yeah, it was a solid way to get the brawl going and get our hearts racing and really get the blood boiling. But the next thing we know, I mean, just the mere fact that we hear that they are going to have the reuniting Shield against the Wyatt family. I mean, does anybody remember the insanity these two teams did a couple of times? How they had us absolutely falling out of our chairs, just in just pure awesomeness. And tonight, of all nights, we get a brief little glimpse of a Shield reunion. Unfreaking believable is what I say. Yes, it's not one of the type segments of the night, but oh my god, did it leave us standing in attention for what was about to happen later in the evening. With that said, Anthony, go.
Oh man, that's all there is to say there. So, all right, back to the action now. We had our second Divas fight of the night. It was the Divas champion Charlotte, accompanied by Becky Lynch, going up against Brie Bella, accompanied by Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox, of course. Winner of the match in 5 minutes and 35 seconds. It was the Divas champion Charlotte Flair via the figure eights. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this second Divas fight?
I thought this was an okay Divas match. I'm gonna say probably maybe about another 1 to 1 and maybe 1.25, teetering on maybe 1.5 stars. I mean, I thought the match was fine for what it was, but just too short for my liking. Of course, they want to make Charlotte look good going into the her Divas Championship match at Hell in a Cell, and yeah, and then of course after the match, I mean, you had Paige basically getting interviewed by Renee Young, and basically, I mean, this is like the best we've seen out of Renee Young. I mean, basically going right at Paige and basically saying, "Oh, you were there the night when Natalia got attacked," and then she basically started going off and once again continued to rip everybody in the Divas division, and she even took some rips at some of the Divas from the past, like Trish, like Lita, and even the recent inductee, Alundra Blaze. And man, I mean, Paige, I mean, she just continues to go on a quite the rampage of hers, no pun intended. So so to me, there's really nothing else for me to say except, well, 1 to 1.25 stars on the match. So Fletcher, I give it to you.
Yeah, 1.25 is definitely the correct rating for this fight, and I really liked how this fight turned out. Yes, like I said, the only great thing that came out of this fight was that, yes, we got the victory by Charlotte Flair, so that keeps the momentum alive of what the amazing stuff that we're going to see in the very near future. And then we're going to go for the next, whatever that next thing is going to be. And who knows what we're going to be looking at very soon. But at the end of the day, it was solid. It was a good segment, but nothing bad or nothing that would say, holy crap. But it was definitely worthy of the love and the support and the amazingness. Now it's just what is going to happen next, and what is going to happen, I guess we could say very soon, but we'll wait and see. But at the end of the day, this was one of those where it was just a solid segment, a solid thing that happens, and at the end, that is it. So we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this was actually a good, not great. We're just gonna have to wait and see what happens next. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. 1.5 stars, 1.25 to 1.5 is my rating. And guys, with that said, Anthony, it's yours.
I'm actually going to give it about 1.5 to 2 because I thought there was some okay action during the fight. There was some solid wrestling action during this match with this. So yeah, I'm glad Charlotte Flair got the win, and I'm glad that they gave both Charlotte and Nikki some momentum going into their Divas title rematch on Sunday night. So that's really all there is to say on that. And my early projection is I got Charlotte winning that fight. God forbid, I hope I'm right. And like I said earlier, God forbid if they put the title back on Nikki Bella, I swear to God. Oh, Ridiculously Over is coming out, and I know none of you guys want that. So that's all there is to say there. So with that said, we're just going to move on, and we're going to move on to our next match, which I believe Michael Fletcher will be leading off on. We had the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, going one-on-one with the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Kevin Owens. Winner of the match in 3 minutes and 40 seconds via a pop-up powerbomb. Yes, you heard me right. A pop-up powerbomb. Kevin Owens wins the match in 3 minutes and 40 seconds doing a pop-up powerbomb on a 399-pound man. Picked him up like he was a cruiserweight, for goodness sakes. So with that said, Michael Fletcher, Your thoughts on the match and that pop-up powerbomb by Kevin Owens on a 400-pound man, for goodness sakes.
All right, all right, all right. Prisoner of the moment. I hate to do it. By default, worst fight of the night. However, that move was effing awesome. I mean, you want to yell out, holy bleep? That was going to be the moment. Hell, I probably would have done my Joey Styles, oh my God, when that happened. It was an absolute amazing moment. There's nothing bad to say about it. I loved it. I think we all marked over it. The body of work could have been a little better, no doubt about it. I think we all can agree with that. But the ending was just absolutely phenomenal. That pop-up powerbomb was like when he went for it, I was like, no way, no way. But he got him up and he dropped him, and you're like, oh my God. I think the whole place exploded when he did it. But I mean, because of that and because of the body of work prior, I'm sorry guys, I can only call this worst fight of the night, and I can give it about maybe one to 1.5 stars just for the effort alone. But like I said, the body of work was worst fight of the night, but the pop-up powerbomb was freaking awesome. So that's why it actually raised the bar to at least 1 and 1.5. But other than that, I have nothing else really good to say about this fight. By default, it's worst fight of the night. Anthony, I give it to you.
Yeah, we're in agreement here. It is the worst, by default, it is the worst fight of the night, even though it wasn't remotely bad at all. 1 to 1.5 stars for the effort. I mean, it's because of Kevin Owens. I mean, Kevin Owens can take, a guy who's not capable of putting on a good match, and Mark Henry is a prime example of that. I mean, Kevin Owens, that's what he does. I mean, he can take guys who are, like I said, not capable of putting on good matches. And, Henry's had some good, he's had some good matches in his career, but not too many memorable matches. But, Owens carried Henry to a halfway decent, somewhat passable fight here. Because, like Fletch said, there was some good action for the 3.5 or so minutes we got. Solid match, fine match for what it was, just too short. But that pop-up powerbomb, man. Pop-up powerbomb on a 400-pound man. What? Wow. It ranks right up there. That's one of those incredible feats of strength. It ranks right up there with Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. It also ranks up there with Dave Bautista spine-bustering the Great Khali at Unforgiven in 2007 to win yet another one of his World Heavyweight Championships. I mean, I could go on and on about freakish feats of strength, but Kevin Owens' pop-up powerbomb of Mark Henry tonight. Or you know what? I'll even throw in one more. What about when Cesaro literally scooped up the Big Show like he was a small child and threw him over the top to win the inaugural Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 30? Those, to me, are the 4 greatest feats of freakish strength that I've ever seen in all my years of watching / covering professional wrestling. Hogan slamming Andre, Batista planning Khali, Cesaro dumping Big Show like yesterday's news in the inaugural Andre Battle Royal, and this, what we saw tonight with Kevin Owens, pop-up powerbombing Mark Henry like he was a small child in a cruiserweight. Kevin Owens is a freak. This just in. But then again, the 3 of us already knew that, but nobody knew that more so than Michael Fletcher. Fletcher has been on the KO bandwagon ever since his days in ROH. Nobody knows more about that man than Fletcher does. That's all there is to say about that. He's been you've known all this time how much of a freak he is, Fletch. You know that better than anybody. So and I know tonight is just another prime example of just how much of a freak KO can be. Say what you want about the man, but what we saw from him tonight, that pop-up powerbomb on a 400-pound man, I tell you, my respect level for Kevin Owens just went up a notch. Big ups to Kevin Owens, like him or not. And you know what? Early projection for Sunday, I say he goes over, and I think he's going to do it to Ryback. Because remember, Ryback comes out after the match, and, well, right, and it looked like we were going to have a booking one-on-one scenario because Henry throws Owens to Ryback, but Owens backs away, so Owens is going over Sunday night. There's no question about this. We'll get more into that when we do our preview show this weekend. So that's really all there is to say on that. So I just gained a newfound respect for Kevin Owens after that freakish feat of strength tonight. 1 to 1.5 stars. Yes, it's by default the worst fight of the night, but there really wasn't anything remotely bad about it. It was a lot better than I initially expected. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on the match as well as that freakish feat of strength with that pop-up powerbomb on a 400-pound man.
Yeah, I'll agree. By default, this was the worst fight of the night. 1 to 1.5 stars. And yeah, it really wasn't that bad of a match. I mean, it was definitely too short, but I thought it was fine for what it was. And yeah, when Florio and I were watching this and we saw him attempt that pop-up powerbomb, I just was basically like, are you kidding me? Did he just pop-up powerbomb an almost 400-pound man, basically the world's strongest man? I mean, yeah, the thing is, you may not like Kevin Owens, but you gotta respect him for what he did right there. I mean, I'm sure other superstars wouldn't even make an attempt to do something like that, but man, what a feat of strength for Kevin Owens. And so yeah, so really got nothing else to say except 1 to 1.5 stars. So with that being said, Florio, let's move on.
Yeah, well, we saw that tonight, just amazing, and which leads me to say this: there are other big men out there that I'd like to see Kevin Owens do that to. The Big Show, first and foremost, that would be epic. Braun Strowman is another name that comes to mind. I know highly unlikely that anytime soon, but those are just a couple of names I'm just throwing out there as, freakish feats of strength. So that's all there is to say on that. So with that said, main event time, boys. Shield reunion. The WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose against the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Braun Strowman. Winners of the match via disqualification in 14 minutes and 30 seconds. It was the Wyatt family after Dean Ambrose used a kendo stick on Braun Strowman. So I believe I lead off on this one, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Because I believe Fletcher led off on the last one. Wow. I got to say this was the second best fight of the night for my taste. Give it about 3.25 to 3.5 stars. I mean, it was a very good match. It was a very entertaining main event. But we did get we got that little cop-out finish there because of the DQ. That definitely plays a part in it. But I'll tell you what, though. I mean, it was great to see another. It reminded me of that. I think all three of us were having flashbacks to when the Wyatt family and the Shield got it on at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in 2014. I mean, that instant classic of a match. Entertaining main event, but man, I mean, a great way to end what I thought was a fantastic edition of Monday Night Raw. I can honestly say one of the best, if not the best show of 2015. That's all I can say. This was a damn good show tonight, and having these six tear the roof off of the American Airlines Center in Dallas. There's nothing better. There's nothing more I can say on that. So, second best fight of the night. It's a 3.25 to 3.5 stars, and like I said, a fantastic way to cap off a fantastic Monday Night Raw tonight. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this main event?
Yeah, I do agree. It was a 3 1/4, 3.5 star match. Second best fight of the night. I thought it was a really good, another really good 6-man tag team match. Yes, we did get a screwy finish with that disqualification, and then basically utter chaos ensues at the end of the fight. But it was good to see that Shield reunion, and but of course you knew it wasn't going to last long because Seth Rollins basically walked out, and yeah, and I'll tell you this, guys. Braun Strowman continues to impress me time and time again with his strength. Basically, during the end of it, you saw Dean Ambrose go for his usual suicide dive, but he got caught by Braun Strowman, got taken down, and he also manhandled Roman Reigns, tried to use that devastating submission maneuver. And here's another thing I got to tell you about with Braun Strowman. Remember this past weekend during the WWE Mexico tour, there was a tag team match. The Brothers of Destruction, The Undertaker and Kane, went up against Luke Harper and Braun Strowman. And I saw The Undertaker and Kane attempt a double choke slam on Braun Strowman, and Strowman basically broke out of it. If that does not show you his strength that he's been showing, I don't know what will prove how much of a freak this guy is in a good way. But yeah, either way, this was a really good main event to close out what I thought was a really good edition of Monday Night Raw. So 3 1/4, 3.5. Fletch, I give it to you.
Yeah, I could give it about 3 1/4 stars. I thought this was a solid main event. I don't know if it was the greatest thing in the world, but I think it was definitely a good match. I love the body of work. I thought everybody did very good in handling what they were doing. So, no, you guys pretty much said everything that you needed to say. So I'm just gonna piggyback off that, and let's go into the overall review.
All right, overall review time, and Michael Bullock, what say you? I think but before I get to you, Michael Bullock, let me just say it like this: I think all three of us are in agreement that this show is definitely gonna get a more than passing grade from all three of us tonight. I think we're all in agreement on that. So with that said, Michael Bullock, let's start with you, man. Your overall thoughts on this amazing Monday Night Raw tonight? Bullock, you started off.
Oh, forgot to unmute my mic. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, all I can say, this is definitely one of the best Raws I've seen in a long time, and, well, here's my rating, and I don't know how you guys are going to feel, if I overscored it or not. 9 to 9.5 out of 10. This was a very, very good edition of Monday Night Raw. We had the fight of the night with the 6-man tag team match with Neville, Cesaro, and Ziggler going up against Rusev, King Barrett, and Sheamus. That really surprised us. And of course, the second best fight of the night, the other 6-man tag with the Shield reunion going up against the Wyatt family. You also had some. You had some. You had a good 6-man tag team match with John Cena and the Dudleys going up against the New Day. The Divas match. The Divas match. The first one with the Team Bad against Team Bella. I thought it was a solid match as well. And of course, the segments were really, really good. The third best segment of the night is the segment with Ric Flair and Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. second best segment of the night is Shawn Michaels and Seth Rollins, and of course, segment of the night and my second best segment of the year with Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, and of course Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. So this is definitely a very good selling point to this, and this is going to make people want to watch this Hell in a Cell pay-per-view this Sunday. This is going to definitely put some butts in the seats. That's going to put some eyes on the screen, and that's what's going to get those WWE Network subscriptions up, or those that still watch it via pay-per-view, through your cable provider, which I don't know why, since you can watch the WWE Network for just $9.99, especially with the pay-per-views, and of course you get your first month for free, and also get those ticket sales up for those tickets that are still available. So, man, really looking forward to Hell in a Cell this Sunday. So 9 to 9.5 out of 10 is my rating. So, Fletch, I give it to you.
I can go 8.5 to 9 out of 10. I think that's definitely the correct rating for this. This was a great Monday Night Raw, without a doubt. This one was far and away better than any Monday Night Raw we've seen in the last few weeks. They delivered and then some. The ratings were sliding. They needed to pull something huge. They got it. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Mike Bullock talked about all the great fights on this show tonight. There's no argument there. For me, 8.5 to 9 out of 10 is the rating for tonight's Monday Night Raw. I thought this was a tremendous show. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm going to meet you guys halfway. I think I'm just going to give it a solid 9 out of 10 at the absolute best tonight. Because this was, like I said, this was a really, really good Monday Night Raw tonight. This was one of the best Monday Night Raws we've seen in a long time. I mean, you all remember back in the summer, we were getting spoiled constantly with amazing episodes of Monday Night Raw week in and week out. And then they hit a rut where we were, and then several weeks, towards the end of the summer and into the fall, we were getting, average, mediocre, clunky editions of Monday Night Raw. But tonight, man, they needed to step up. The ratings were bad, and they finally did it. Hardly any dud enhancement fights. No campy comedy, BS nonsense. I mean, everything, like I said, everything on this show tonight was solid to good to great. As far as the wrestling matches go, fight of the night, no question, the 6-man with Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, and Adrian Neville against Rusev, King Barrett, and Sheamus. That was the fight of the night, 3.5 to 4. Second best fight, no question, it was the main event with the pseudo Shield reunion against the Wyatts. 3.25 to 3.5 on that. Rounding out the top 3, I suppose, would have to be that 6-man with Cena and the Dudleys against the New Day. And then you had a couple of solid Diva fights. And then, you had a couple of clunky matches with Seth Rollins and Ryback and Kevin Owens and Mark Henry. But they were fine for what they were. And then those in-ring segments, the opening segment with Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, and Paul Heyman, segment of the night. And then the segment with Shawn Michaels and Seth Rollins was amazing. And then that in-ring segment with Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, and then all the hell breaks loose. Yeah, that's how you sell a pay-per-view right there. That's how you sell a network special. That's how you put butts in the seats. That's how you put eyes on the screens, and that's how you get people to subscribe to the WWE Network right there. So, no question about this one. It's a solid 9 out of 10 for me, and I can honestly say one of the best Monday Night Raws we've seen probably since the summer. So, that's all I can say on that. So, that go-home show, we were excited about it, and all I can say is this go-home show, on behalf of all of us here at the Wrestling Forum, I think we're all in agreement here, gentlemen, on this night. I can honestly say that this show more than lived up to the hype here tonight. So, well done. And hopefully next week we can do that again in San Diego as we sort out all the fallout from Hell in a Cell, and more importantly, start the road to my favorite pay-per-view of the year, the Survivor Series. Woo, daddy! I cannot wait as we start the road to my favorite event of the year, the Survivor Series. Because I consider myself Mr. Survivor Series, so that's all I can say on that. So, all right. That'll put the bow on this edition of the Wrestling Forum. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Of course, shout-outs coming up now. You know the routine on that. Bullock starts it off, and then Fletcher. And then I'll do my shout-outs, and then I'll set up the future content. We got some big-time future content coming up. So with that said, Michael Bullock, let's start it off with your shout-outs now.
All right. Of course, we want to thank you all so very much for tuning in for another edition of the Wrestling Forum. Of course, shout-outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who support our shows, whether it's this or Strictly Sports. Doesn't matter. We really appreciate it. And shout-outs to our super fans, Dee Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, Matt Ward, Jason Hixenbaugh. Of course, shout-outs to all of our friends from our high school days, Al Britterson, Jimmy Alden, Rob Parsons, Eric Carrier, Tom Souza, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Megan Silva, First Lady of Strictly Sports, Kaiser Butler, of course, to the Hardcore Fight Bomb himself, Derek Ferrer, who continues his success on the sports blog, and of course, as the social media ambassador for Monday Night Football. So, yes, that's going to do it for me. I'll save the rest of my shout-outs Friday night for Strictly Sports Presents College Football Friday, and I will be part of the show, and I'll tell you this right now. I am going to go on a major rant Friday night when it comes to when it comes to the Michigan Wolverines. Well,
I'm right there. I'm right there with you.
It's not just about it's not about the game, but it's the backlash from what happened after that really ticked me off. So I'll save it. So yeah. Until then, this is the Phenom and the Vice President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, Mike Bullock, saying thank you all so much for joining us. And of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. Enjoy the rest of your week. So with that being said, Fletch, let's have your shout.
Yes, indeed. I want to say thank you to all the great fans on the show. You guys are the best fans in the world. You guys already know that. To all the super fans out there, I love you guys. Thank you for everything. To my friends in the junior high and high school days, much love to you guys. 84 crew. You guys, you already know how I feel about you guys. You guys are like my second family. And that is it. I will be on Strictly Sports College Football Friday, this upcoming Friday night. So I will see you then. And until then, Mike Fletcher, you know the routine. Hugs and hand pounds. I'm out. Good night. Anthony, take it home.
Well, as I look at the schedule for this upcoming week of college football, I don't see a Michigan game. I think this is your bye week coming up, boys. So we'll probably have to save that rant for the following week. That's all I can say on that when Michigan next plays. So, or maybe we could reel that in with the Michigan State game because Michigan State is playing. That I do know. They're playing Indiana. So, but I'll get into to the future content in just a moment. But of course, special shout outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make the Wrestling Forum as well as Strictly Sports as ridiculously over as they are. We appreciate it as always. And again, I do want to apologize to all the fans out there because we did not have a Strictly Sports NFL Saturday this past Saturday night because of the fact that Derek Ferrera was not there. He was covering the Gennady Golovkin fight, the Golovkin Lemieux fight. Fletcher was hanging with his 2184 crew at the luxury box in Seekonk. And Michael Bullock had a very special event that benefited the Special Olympics up at Twin River. And he was out very late, and we felt that by the time he came in that it would be too late to do a show. So we just decided, with our good judgment, to cancel the show. So, hopefully that will not be the case Saturday night, but we'll get more into that, and we'll get more into that on Friday night, I'm sure, if not sooner. But again, apologies for the inconvenience to all the fans out there. I know you were all hoping for an NFL Saturday show, but unfortunately we couldn't do it. So hopefully we'll be back on this Saturday night.
And as Derek Ferrer would say, we all have lives outside of YouTube.
Indeed we do both. That's right. So indeed, definitely. So but then again, getting back to this, of course, special shout outs to our super fans. Didi Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and the entire Woodson family. Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh, Daniel Lachelle from the UK, Megan Silva, Kaiser Butler, and then of course Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Alvarez and Rob Parsons, and last but certainly not least, our Imperial Grand Poobah himself, the hardcore python, Derek Ferreira. Was supposed to be on with us Friday night for College Football Friday, but he ended up getting under the weather, and he didn't want to, he didn't feel up to doing the show, and it is what it is. But hopefully he's back up and running, and hopefully we'll have him on soon enough. And that's all there is to it. So special shout out to you, my friends. So yes, of course, that'll do it for my shout-outs. Of course, I'll save the rest of mine for Friday night. Now, Friday night, College Football Friday. You remember how last week was Shakespearean Drama Week, right? Well, this week, not really that much. As I look at the schedule for this upcoming week, we got 2 ranked games on Thursday night with, we got some new additions into the rankings. Temple has found their way into the college football rankings. They're going to be going up against East Carolina. That'll be on Thursday. And then, of course, the big game, 9 o'clock on ESPN, number 20 California against UCLA. And then Friday night, Memphis. The Memphis Tigers are now in the AP poll. They're number 18. They're going to be going up against Tulsa. That'll be Friday night. And then as far as Saturday is concerned, well, there are some decent matchups. I know this high noon game on ABC is a game that Michael Fletcher is going to have some big-time vested interest in. The team he's been high on all year, number 6 Clemson, against his second favorite team next to Michigan, the U. How about that, Fletch? Clemson against the U. I know you're looking forward to that. So that's high noon on ABC, oh, by the way. So we'll throw in some Pittsburgh and some Syracuse. Pittsburgh's now in the rankings. They're number 25. They're going to be going up against Syracuse at the Carrier Dome. Always a fun trek there. Toledo going up against UMass, New England ties there. Duke going up against Virginia Tech. Indiana against Michigan State. Don't sleep on Indiana. Indiana's a halfway decent team. The SEC on CBS. Tennessee against number 8 Alabama. That should be a great game. Number 9 Florida State going up against Georgia Tech. Utah, number 3 Utah going up against USC in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. But to me, there's only one real true headliner game this week when it comes to it, and that's, of course, number 15 Texas A&M going up against number 24 Ole Miss. So Texas A&M and Ole Miss, that's really the headliner of the week. As I look at this slate, there's not really – well, there are a couple of games here that may have some Shakespearean drama and whatnot, but this field doesn't look as promising as it did as last week's field did. I'll tell you that right now. So that's Friday. Now Saturday, I don't know what's going on Saturday. I don't know if we're going to have an NFL Saturday show. Hopefully we will. And then there's also, hopefully, if with time permitting, hopefully we can get in a preview for Hell in a Cell. I mean, we definitely want to do that. We definitely want to share our thoughts on the upcoming Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So hopefully by the end of the week and whatnot, when all the smoke clears, hopefully we can, put our heads together, work out some details, hammer out some details, and if we do have something worked out or whatever, but don't worry, we'll let you fine folks know soon enough. Keep your eye on our respective Facebook pages or Derek's for, the Strictly Sports, Wrestling Forum, what have you. So, but all I do know is this: there will definitely be a Strictly Sports College Football Friday. That's not going to change. There will be a College Football Friday show. There's no question about it. It's just the Saturday content. We're just going to have to figure something out on that. So yeah, that will now indeed put the bow on this edition of the Wrestling Forum. We want to thank you all very much for tuning in. So until Friday night for College Football Friday, this is Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio here for the Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and in spirit, the Hardcore Python, Derek Ferreira, saying, the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Have a great rest of the week, everybody. And until College Football Friday this Friday night, right back here on this channel, you've been watching the Wrestling Forum right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. And may your lives be filled with peace, love, happiness, and harmony forever. For now, Anthony Florio. So long.